This is an audio-only recording of an exercise session for Vision of Adventure. This winter our sessions are sponsored by the charity, Fight for Sight. Cycling, led by Kath Finn. Please note that you will need some form of stationary exercise bike for this session.
Okay, let's go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to what was a beautiful day and a slightly cold and crisp evening. And we're on our third session of the winter of 2024 to 25. We're going to obviously warm up because we need to do that every week. And then we're going to do a little bit of threshold work. So that's about effort level 7 out of 10. We're going to do a little bit of a pyramid of that in time. So 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute. And we're going to do a little bit of pedaling technique. Last week we did some pedaling with one leg, and some people have found it quite difficult to balance. So this week we're going to keep both legs on the bike, but we are going to think about what we're doing with each leg to try and help us be more efficient. So we started off, we're just going to have 3 minutes. I know some of you have been in here for a while and have been cycling, but some of you have just joined. So we're going to use those 3 minutes just to settle into the bike, leave the rest of the world behind. Don't worry about our cadence at the moment. And cadence is the amount of times we turn our pedal round in a minute, sometimes just known as revolutions. But as we go through the warm-up, I'll put the metronome on and we'll be looking at trying to get a smooth, quite quick cadence. And I was liking Linda earlier saying, I can't get people to ride. They don't want to go out. It's too cold for them. Just need to work a bit. They get warm. And I've just been talking to clients yesterday and today, and they're saying exactly the same thing. Oh, I just really don't feel motivated to go out and get really cold. And oh, it's too cold to sit around in cafes because then I get too cold when I get back on the bike. Can I ride indoors? Well, yeah, of course you can. Get yourself a good podcast, sit on your bike, and just put a bit of time in. Perfect. And that's definitely something Steve doesn't describe. Every time we talk to him, he's like, yeah, I was out today. Oh, I'm going out tomorrow. I'm going out for lunch the next day. So, and I hopefully will be out tomorrow and definitely on Sunday on a mountain bike ride. So you're halfway through your 3 minutes. So hopefully, particularly with the lack of chat, you're beginning to feel that you're settling in nicely. I don't know, but Esther's definitely got the look of a woman who's had a busy day and she's got lots going on. It's Christmas with children at school. I know what that, yeah, I know what that's like. So well done for making the time. Yep, she said she's pulling her hair out. So hopefully, Esther, this might be a bit of a stress release for you. Okay, we've been going just about 3 minutes. I'm going to switch the metronome on, so you should be able to hear. If I switch the sound up, it would be even better. Can we get that? Yeah, thanks, Liz. Thanks, Di. Okay, so again, we want to think about one knee being at the top of the pedal stroke every time you hear a beat. If it's too hard to do that, then lessen the resistance on your bike a little bit so that your legs can turn around quite fast. And if you're not used to doing it, it's a neural thing. It's your nerve pathway that needs to tell your muscles to fire fast enough to take them round. And like everything else, the neural system needs trained. It gets tired. When you're riding on the road, it's quite difficult to maintain this kind of cadence because you slow down for bends, you slow down for junctions, you avoid things, you freewheel. But good cadence between 80-90 is an excellent aiming point. Liking it. Looking good. Lovely. We're going to do another minute like this, and then we're going to have 3 minutes where I'd like you to build your effort. And I'll say more about it in about 30 seconds. Lovely. Keep that beat even though the metronome's gone off. You've got half a minute to go. And then we're going to have another 3 minutes. And I'll tell you as each of those minutes goes. And I want you to take it from a nice easy pedal, which it should be now, through to an effort which is about 7 out of 10. So you're building your effort level. While you're doing that, I'd like you to keep your cadence about the same. So it's the resistance that needs to change to enable you to put more effort in and using the same cadence. Are we ready? We're off on the next 3 minutes. So keep that cadence and be mindful that we're going to build effort through the 3 minutes. So we don't want to set off like a rabbit out of a bolt. Bullet out of a gun's probably better. I was thinking of hare coursing and letting the little rabbit go along the side. Thinking nice and smooth. And you're about a minute in, so you've got 2 more minutes to continue to build. Halfway through now. So if you're about to expire and fall off your bike, you need to lessen your resistance a little bit. On the other hand, if you could still be having a conversation with me, you want to think about working a bit harder. One more minute. Again, keep the pace going. I'm just going to silence it for a bit. So in half a minute's time, we should be reached the point where it's quite hard work to push the pedals over. And we should still have that nice speed, which is looking great. Well done. Loving it. And then we're going to have half a minute where we're quite chilled, and then we're going to restart that build. And we're going to do one more 3 minutes. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, relax. Take 30 seconds. So if you need any clothes to come off, if you need a drink, and then we'll start again. Yeah, that's clearly working. Try and keep your legs just turning so that your circulation's still working. And we're ready to go. Not fast, but we're going to go again. Building that effort, exactly as we've just done, another 3 minutes. Nice. Loving the leg speed, Linda. Great job going on here. Coming up for your first minute. Third of the way through. That's looking great. Remember, just make sure your core's on, so your upper body's quite still. Force is going from your hip area down through the seat, down into your legs. Being controlled by your core, so all the power is going down rather than coming up. And a nice relaxed arms, a little bend if you can, so they're not locked out rigid. 1 more minute to go. Keep pedaling when I turn the metronome off. You've still got half a minute. So again, half a minute, you should be kind of effort level 6, 7, coming up for effort level 7. So kind of comfortably uncomfortable. It's not the end of the world, but it could be more pleasant. That kind of feeling. And then we're going to have that half a minute or so at the end to recover. 3, 2, 1, relax. Brilliant. So definitely some of you are warmer because we've had some clothes coming off, so that's good. And we're going to do 3 15 seconds of very fast. So we want our leg speed to be really quick. You might need a little more resistance and you need a lot of power just to get that leg speed, but it's only 15 seconds. In between each of those 15 seconds, you're going to have a minute. So you've got quite a long recovery time before you do that fast little spurt. And we're going to do 3 of those. And I'll give you a count in. We're sitting pretty, legs going round, because if they're not going round, you won't be able to get the speed. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Fast as you can with your legs. Fantastic. 10 seconds gone. 3, 2, 1, relax. Well done. Gee, brilliant effort. You've now got a minute, because that will have given everything a bit of a shock and woken you up, to recover, and then we do it again. And this is just the end of the warm-up. So I know we've had a good 18 minutes of warm-up, but within that we've done some harder work. And then your body should be ready to be a little bit more focused. Not that your brains aren't, obviously. Okay, we've got 3, 2, 1, fast. Lovely, fantastic. 10, 3, 2, 1, and relax it. Brilliant. 1 minute, and then we do one more of those. I listened to a really good podcast the other day on nutrition for your brain and how tired your brain can get when it doesn't have, well, hydration, glycogen, and the right micronutrients. Oh, which was really interesting. It made me think a little bit about stuff. "15 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, fast. Excellent. Whirling dervishes. Absolutely phenomenal. 3, 2, 1, relax. Well done. Now it's your warm-up over. So now we're going to do a threshold pyramid. So at the end of those 3 minutes in the warm-up, we were saying that you'd maybe be working about effort 7 out of 10. That's the kind of effort we want to hold for these little steps in the pyramid. So we're going to do a 1 minute, then have a little break, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. So every time we go into one of those, you want to be thinking that you're working too hard to have a conversation with someone. You should be able to speak, but it would be quite a broken sentence and not a smooth conversation. So we might not be very happy, but do we understand? Thumbs up if you do. Yeah, I've got a big wave from Liz. Yeah, fantastic. Loads of thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to set off on our first minute, and we want the cadence at around that 90. There we go. We're off. I don't know what it's feeling like, but it's looking good. Over halfway through this first minute. Five seconds. 3, 2, 1. And have half a minute. So I'm on the clock. Ten seconds left. And this time it's 2 minutes. 3, 2, 1. Off you go. 2 minutes. Quarter of the way through. And my feet are freezing. I need a heater underneath this desk. Or I should be on my bike. I couldn't coordinate that though. Thought of riding, trying to speak, watching the metronome and the clock is just not going to happen. Got another minute left. I'm going to dream about this metronome tonight. Half a minute. Three, two, one. Take your half a minute's rest, and then we go to 3 minutes. And remembering 80% of your training should be at your chatty pace. So if you're doing other cycling in the week, balance out this one. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Off you go. 3 minutes. Lovely. Now this is kind of like when you want to go that bit faster in a sportif or on a day out, get to the tea shop a bit quicker. But you can only cycle at this kind of intensity for a certain length of time before you've got too much lactate, you can feel too tired and you have to stop. And if you're reading the books, the length of time is about an hour. But I think that's quite a harsh ask usually. So we tend to do it in smaller amounts, and that builds your resilience around doing it. It teaches your body to recycle and recover, and means that when you really want to use it in earnest, it's practiced. And your ability to do this will increase. You've got about a minute and a half left. You're about halfway through this one. And then it's funny because the no pain, no gain theory doesn't really work. You need to back up this work with a lot of easy, chatty stuff. So you could come on your bikes, listen to a podcast, chat to each other, set up a time and chat over Zoom or something. And just make sure that you're going at a low enough effort level to be able to have those conversations. That's what builds solid endurance. And if you need to ask any further, ask from the maestro, Steve. He won't be here at the end, but I'm sure he'll be on at a different week because he rides massive distances and most of his training is in the chatty zone. In fact, I don't think he really thinks about it as training. It's just going out and sitting on his bike having a nice time. Nearly there. 3, 2, 1. You've got half a minute. And then you've got 4 minutes. And this is your longest pyramid. This is your longest step. We start coming down after that. These half minutes are getting quicker. We've got 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, settling in for a long stint. Nearly done your first half a minute. Think about having a lovely, even pedal stroke, even amounts of power going through. Nice and smooth, relaxed upper body, still but not much tension through your hands. And given that you sit at the back, you can virtually sit there and make hand signals at all the passers-by, so because you're not having to control brakes and gears. God, I so nearly ran somebody over today. Gave myself a massive fright. You have to look left at a junction to see if cars are coming from a light. And this woman on my right walked out in front of the car, and I pulled out, turned to look at the road, and she was absolutely about 2 inches off my bumper. It's like, no! I would not have been clever. About halfway through this, almost. Halfway now, you've got 2 minutes left. So you're halfway through this whole little set as well now. You're starting on the descent. Got less to do now than you've already done. It's always a good thought. And I've finished my personal trainer level 2. It allows me to be a gym instructor. I need to do level 3, but that's not something I ever thought I'd be doing when I'm 61. I was old enough to be everybody's granny who was in the room. It's quite good fun, I learned. It's good. One more minute at this. Oh, and Liz is going, she hasn't listened. I only like doing things for a minute, but I'm bored. She's just agreeing with me. Good for you, Liz. I promise next week's will be different. I don't know what it is yet, but it'll be different. So yeah, if you've not been before, every week is a little bit different. Yeah, you've nailed it. 3, 2, 1. Got your half a minute. Well done. And now we're going to 3. And I've lost several people's heads off screen. I hope they've not all run away. I know Steve's going to run away because he's got a meeting. Maybe see you next week, Steve. If I don't, have a really Merry Christmas and happy running. And we're ready. 3, 2, 1, go. We've got 3 minutes on this. Yay, you only have 2 minutes left to go. Now, is your effort the same as it was 10 minutes ago? You're still working at that level of 6 or 7 out of 10. Trying to keep your knee coming up. Every time you hear a beat, the same knee should be at the top. So right leg, top, 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 top. It's better than last year when I had to go TikTok all the time because we couldn't get it to go through the computer. Lovely. Brilliant. Liking it. You've got 1 more minute. And then we've got a 2 minute and a 1 minute. So you're not quite out of the woods yet. Half a minute to go. Almost there. Hang in there. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Well done. All right, we're heading for 2 minutes now. So we're almost at the end of the pyramid. We've got a 2 minute and a 1 minute. We're heading for 2 minutes and I'm going to turn the metronome off partway through it, but I want you to try and keep that rhythm. 3, 2, 1, go. Brilliant. Minute and a half left. Try and keep that rhythm. Well done. I almost think I can see steam coming off somebody. Nice. Coming up. Doing well. We're into our last half a minute and you're holding the pace really well. "15 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Take your half a minute. And then we've got 1 minute left of this one. And then we'll do a little bit about pedaling technique so you can have a bit of a break. My, that's gone quick. 3, 2, 1. And now I'm not cheating, Di. Off you go. 1 minute left. Brilliant. That's great. And you got half a minute. Lovely job. Three, two, one, stop. Well done. We're going to take at least a minute here just to chill. Keep your legs turning if you can, but if you want to turn them really slowly, that's fine. Have a stretch, move around on the bike. Roll your shoulders if you need to. Have a drink. Just generally reset slightly. Whew. It's looking like people needed that. You must have worked. Well done. Okay, let's change pace a little bit. As in, let's just think about pedaling. So what we want is to have power coming on as soon as we can. Every time we push our leg down from the top point, 12 o'clock, when the knee is nearest your head, down to the bottom. Now, in order to do that, we want to start thinking about putting power on before your foot gets to the highest point. So as you're going over the highest point of the pedal, you're actually already putting force in and driving, if this was a real bike, driving your bike forward. And in this case, if you had power meters, that would tell you that you were bringing more power into your stroke. So you're being more effective. And this doesn't really take that much more energy. It just takes a little bit more coordination. So it's kind of quite a good thing to think about. So we're just going to think about our right leg, and we're going to break this pedal stroke into at least 3. And I'm not sure we'll do the last bit because it's not so important really. But we want to, let's start with the right leg, and we'll do 30 seconds just thinking about pushing just before your foot gets to the highest point and then following it through, but really focus on that bit of the pedal action. So off you go. Just think right foot, push the top of the right foot and push it forward, almost like you're going to kick it into snow or something like that. So there's a bit of oomph going in. Don't worry about the other one. The other one will just turn around on its own. But really think about that right one. Pushing, 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 pushing. Every time it comes to the top, pushing forwards. And I've actually extended it a bit to give you a bit more time to think about it. Because you go, oh, we learned to pedal a bike when we were kids. You never forget how to pedal a bike. But like everything else, efficiency and technique makes a huge difference. Okay, that's cool. Just still keep turning your legs around. Again, we're going to think about the right leg. And now we want to think about, once you've pushed across the top, you're then going to continue to push down. And that's the force that you would normally think of as moving your bike. So that's just a normal downward push towards the very bottom of the pedal stroke. But again, think about the right leg. Think about trying to really make that an efficient push down using your muscles. You may have to put your resistance up a little bit. As you get going with this, you might find that, oh yes, I'm putting more effort in here and I haven't got enough to push against. So let's go. Right leg. Thinking about pushing across the top, pushing down. So that push down now becomes really important. And if you want to slow it down fractionally with a little more resistance, so you've got enough time to think about it a little more, that's fine. It's good. I'm liking the faces of concentration. It's great. Thank you. All right. Now we obviously have to keep following through, so stop thinking for a second. But the third bit is the bottom, the very bottom of the pedal stroke. So when your foot is nearest the floor, and it's almost like it's a pulling back movement. So it's a continuation of the force down will then encourage it to go backwards because it's fixed to the pedal and that's where the pedal's going. But it's almost like you're trying to scrape dog poo off the bottom of your shoe. So it's kind of helping to slide that momentum back. So it's still something that you're accessing through active muscle work. Right foot again. And we'll just do this bit a little. We haven't got as much power by the time we get to this point. The power is coming off. There we go. Okay. And relax your head. So just pedal normally. There's obviously a bit left in this pedal stroke, which is the back and pulling the pedal up, pulling the leg back up to start again. But we don't really focus so much on that because the other leg is pushing down. That right leg will almost come up automatically. Obviously, we don't want to be pushing down rather than coming up, but we're not actively using our hamstrings to pull up. It's not worth the stress on the hamstring, and you're not trying to generate power. Your leg is just coming around ready for the next time. So we're not really going to think about that bit so much because it just kind of happens. But the other three bits are important. And we clearly can't be one-legged. Well, we could be one-legged cyclists, but we're not one-legged cyclists. So we need to think about the other side. And I have seen a man with only one leg and no prosthetic racing at age group triathlon, which is quite impressive, really. So thinking about the left leg this time, we want to be thinking about, we'll start at the top again. So when your foot is nearest your face, just before that point, you want to start thinking about pushing your left leg forwards, kicking into snow, pushing forwards and down, and that will be the start of putting power on. So left leg, left leg, left leg, thinking about driving it. It's nearly 10 to 8. These sessions go really quickly. They do from me. So still thinking about that left leg. We need to coordinate. One side will probably be stronger than the other. That's pretty normal. And it's not a big deal unless it's quite a large discrepancy, like about 15% or something. So minor variations are completely normal. Really lovely. I really like the time going into this and the fact that we've slowed off the right, I'm pedaling really hard, and gone into the, okay, now I need to think about a few things. Right. Now we're going to do the next bit. So that's the pushing down, the normal part of your stroke that you'll be most familiar with that we use to generate power. Now, we had it really well sussed. The little extra bit I think we could add in is to think about trying to use our glutes, so our backside, as well as our quads. The quad is the big muscle on the front of your thigh, and your glute is the bit you're sitting on. But your glute tends to think it's quite lazy and it can't be bothered, whereas the quad's a bit of a bully and takes over. So we need to manage both of those, and we want the glute to come to the party. Okay, left leg pushing down. Really thinking about trying to activate all the muscles that should be working. And it is hard to persuade that posterior chain to keep working. The glutes and hamstrings tend to be far lazier than the front. I've worked reasonably hard on my hamstrings, having pulled one, and the physio going, well, this is why. I'm okay. I better do something. Okay, lovely. Now the last little bit to think about on this leg. So left leg, the very bottom of the stroke, and pulling the foot backwards just to keep the momentum going to lift it up the backside of the stroke. So off we go. Just half a minute or so on this. Lovely. It's quite a short half a minute, but that's fine. So we've thought about both legs. We've thought about all the muscles. We've thought about bringing the power on as early as we possibly can, because that gives us free power, free speed, and we like that. So we want to do that. So now I'm going to switch the metronome on. We're just going to do a minute or so of trying to think about those things for both legs and trying to keep this pace and seeing what happens with our resistance. So we're just going to give that a go. So both legs for a long minute, having the pace, but also really trying to think about pushing over the top, driving down, and having enough resistance to keep you at this 90. So we're not flying at 100. Nice, solid. Well done. Looking like good work. Some nice still bodies as well. Bonus. 3, 2, 1. And stop. Lovely. Okay, we're going to take all those little extra muscle fibers that have been fired, and we're going to do the little short set to finish off with. We're going to have 1 minute at about that effort level 7, and then 30 seconds of working as hard as you can. So increasing your effort, and then a bit of a rest. And I think we're just going to do 2 of those. So that would give you 3 minutes of work left. I see a little nodded face. Right, let's get the clock up. Okay, so on go, we go to effort level 7 fairly quickly. We hold it for a minute, and then we do 30 seconds of working it harder. 3, 2, 1, go. And you thought you'd finished. Just like to ring the surprises now and again. Halfway through, you've got half a minute left to go at this pace. Well done. Get those glutes into the party. 10 seconds to go until we do half a minute harder. 5, 3, 2, 1, go. 30 seconds worth of effort. Fantastic. Loving it. Ten seconds left. Well done. Try and hang on to it. Keep it going. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Minute of relax, and we'll do that one more time, and then we're done. You've still got half a minute. That's doing great. Ten seconds. 3, 2, 1, and a minute at effort level 7. Well done. I'm loving the commitment. Nice work with the legs, looking good. Half a minute left. Ten seconds, keep it going, because then you're going to go up for that last half minute of fast. 3, 2, 1, accelerate. If you need a faster cadence, that's fine. Lovely. 15 seconds gone. Last 10 seconds of this session. 5. Hold it to the end. 3, 2, 1. Well done, and rest. Brilliant. Oh, really well done, everyone. That was kind of a pretty tough, full-on session. Now, if we're on record, please make sure you take at least 5 minutes to just spin out and cool down a bit and let your body settle down after that last little effort. And I'm now going to ask people on here if they wish to unmute, they can.